Hey, what's up everyone? It's Emily and welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry that it has been a couple weeks since I've last been able to upload. I had some technical difficulties with my laptop that I edit on, and I finally have something now that I can use, finally, so I'm hoping to be a bit more consistent in the coming weeks. With that, I haven't done a TBR video in forever, so I decided it would be a great time to talk about my upcoming spring reads. As always, I'm a bit of a mood reader, so I can't hold myself to it, but I am going to try and get through these books specifically because they are all books that I've just been wanting to get to, that I've been looking at and thinking about, and books that I just really think I'm in the mood for to read right now. I was in a slump for like 3 weeks or something, at the beginning of this month, and then like the end of March. I was just in the worst reading slump, and I couldn't get myself to read anything, and I wanted to read, but I just couldn't do it. And now I feel like I'm finally out of it. So I'm really hoping that these books keep me going. But if I start feeling slumpy again, I might have to diverge from this list, but we'll see. So here's my TBR for the spring. Sorry, it's coming a bit late, but it's here, so we're good. First book I want to talk about is The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the sequel to the 5th season, which is, I don't know what the trilogy itself is called. Does it say? I don't know. Oh, The Broken Earth. The Broken Earth trilogy. This won the Hugo Award in 2017. N.K. Jemisin is an amazing author, and her stories are just absolutely incredible. The world building in the first book was insane, and it was so unlike any fantasy book that I have ever read. This series, well, I haven't read the other ones yet, but I'm assuming this series is such a different view of the fantasy genre. I don't want to say it like redefines fantasy, because fantasy is kind of hard to define, and it like spreads across so much, but this series is so different than so many other fantasy books that it almost doesn't feel like fantasy. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's like kind of dystopian, but there's magic involved, but it's all based in like the earth and everything. I can't really get into it because it's so it's not confusing. It's just so in-depth, and it's like within the world. Anyway, it's a great series. I'm very excited to read the second one and then the third one after that. I'd love to know your thoughts on this series. If you've read it, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. And I'm like, I want to read this with somebody. I want someone to talk about this book with. The next book that I'm so excited about is Entangled Life. I am like not centered on the camera. I'm so sorry. I talked about this in my The Last of Us recommendation book video, which I will link below and above in the cards if you want to check that out. If you love the TV show, I am so pumped about this. This is nonfiction, and it's all about mushrooms and fungi and like how they work in our world and with us, and how they influence us in our everyday lives. After making that video, I actually went and watched a whole documentary on Netflix about mushrooms, and my life has changed. I feel like I don't even understand this world, and I cannot wait to see what this book offers. I've read so many reviews on it, and it talks so much about how just incredibly informative and interesting this book is. So I'm really hoping it's good. I've been reading a decent amount of nonfiction recently, so I hope I'm not like burnt out from that yet, and I'm hoping to get through this one pretty soon. I'm very excited about it. The next book on my list is The Poppy War. I'm so excited for this series. I actually read Babel before I read this, so I know I'm a fan of R.F. Kuang's writing style, and I know that this is a bit different, and I'm so excited for this series. I've heard nothing but like good things about it, and how heart-wrenching and heartbreaking and depressing it is, and I'm so ready for it. Like, give it to me now. Hugo bought this book, and we've been talking about it for months, and I'm just so excited to get into it. And it's another trilogy, so I'm really hoping that I love the first book enough to finish the trilogy, because like I have such high expectations for it. I really hope it lives up to it. Like, if you've read this book, please tell me your thoughts on it, because like I don't even know what to think. I don't know if I'm mentally prepared, and I need to know what else I need to do to mentally prepare myself for this book. But I hope it's a roller coaster. I feel like it's going to be. I'm so excited. The next book that I'm also very excited for to read this spring is The Princess and the Scoundrel, which is a book I asked for Christmas from my parents. It was so sweet. It's a Star Wars novel about Leia and Han Solo. It's kind of their like love story. It takes place after Return of the Jedi, and it's kind of Leia and Han's love story and like their wedding and stuff like that. And people have said that it reads a lot more like a romance novel, so I'm pretty excited about that as well. I've been reading a lot of Star Wars, and it's all been very like war and politically based, which I've also really been enjoying. But I think it'll be really interesting to have a different change of pace and see the kind of romantic side of this love story as well. I'm a huge Leia fan. I think Han Solo is really cool, and I think it's amazing how big the Star Wars universe really is and how they are able to keep creating stories within it, and I'm just so excited for it. And this cover art is so beautiful. I love the colors so much. I have yet to read anything by this author. I've read a lot of Claudia Gray, and I really love her. And I read her book about Leia, so I'm interested to see how the characters fit in together with her personification of the Leia character in that novel, and then in this one when she's a bit older with Han Solo. So I'm very excited. It's so beautiful, and I can't wait. I have 2 more books. So the next one I'll talk about is The Traveling Cat Chronicles. I've been really into Japanese literature lately, mostly on audiobooks, surprisingly. I've been really enjoying it. I love the kind of, I don't want to say quirky. I feel like that's the wrong word entirely. I love the way that Japanese books kind of test the boundaries in a lot of ways. And I'm pretty sure that this is from the point of view of a cat. Basically, Hugo and I went to the bookstore and decided to pick out books for each other as like a little like date idea or something. So we went to the bookstore and just like walked around, and we each picked out a book. And this was the book that he chose for me because he knows I love cats. He knows I love Japanese literature. And I don't know if it takes place as the cat or if it's just like about the cat. I'm not really sure. I'm going to go in pretty blind to this, but I love the cover. Sorry, I keep going on the wrong side of my camera. But I love the cover a lot. I love the art, and it's just a little kitty cat. I love cats so much. So I have high hopes for this one, and it looks like it'll be a pretty quick read. So I'm pretty excited. And the last book on my list is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which has been on my list forever. This was also in the Last of Us video that I talked about because this book is about video games. This was another one that I basically told Hugo because Hugo is a huge vintage gamer fan. Like he loves SNES and like all those old games. I told him he's gonna love this book, and that convinced him to buy it. So that's why we own it. But I'm so excited to read this book. Again, I'm going in fairly blind, but I hear so many good things about it. This is another one where I'm like, please, Book Talk, BookTube, do not let me down, because this might be my final straw. This might be the one that breaks me if it's not good. Same with The Poppy War. Like if either of those books do not live up to the expectations that these people have put on these books, I'm going to be broken forever, and I'm just never going to take a recommendation off the internet again. So those are all of the books that are currently on my spring TBR. I am hoping to get through all of them. Oh, I'm like keeping my fingers crossed, but we'll see. I have like some life stuff that's getting busier by the end of the season, so I'm just hoping that I can like keep myself consistent, and I'm still writing a lot, so it's like I have to balance the writing with the reading because I don't want to just do one and not the other. But yeah, I am so excited. Please let me know what you are reading down below. I finally feel like the seasonal depression like lifting off my shoulders, and all of the books I want to read just like seem so like fun and exciting, except for The Poppy War. That one is depressing apparently. Maybe the Obelisk Gate, we'll see. But yeah, let me know what you're reading down below this spring. I would love to hear from you. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of my writing and bookish content, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. I hope you are having a most wonderful day. I cannot wait to hear from you, and I will see you soon.